Hey everybody, I hope everybody's having a good day today. I've been trying to do this upload now for about an hour and a half, and it's got so much information in it and it's just kind of hard for me to do. Before I get started, I want to tell you guys that I'm not fear-mongering. I'm not trying to get anybody upset or afraid or anything like that. I'm just simply sharing with you dreams and vision that God has given me. I want to tell you too that Satan may have some control in this world, but God Almighty is the master of time and space, and that everything that has happened in this world and everything that's going to happen in this world, God has got his hands on it. He's the master programmer. If God has something planned for you to do for him, you're going to get it done. He's not going to let anything get in your way because he's going to run shotgun for you. 3 weeks ago, I made an upload called Powerful Dream Vision Confirmation. I'd had a dream, a vision. And in this dream, I started seeing the number 23 flash over and over and over. I found out later that the number 23 represents death. After I saw the number 23, I heard, go back 1,508 days from November 28th, 2013, and you will see that day in history represents something significant. Remember 1508, 15 plus 8, 23. I woke up from that dream, and I came in here to this room, and I wrote down everything that I'd seen and heard in the dream. And then I checked my private inbox for messages, and I'd received a message from a stranger who had told me that I was going to start seeing the number 23 and that would be confirmation for me. Kind of blew my mind. On the upload, I made a mistake. That morning, after I had wrote everything down, I'd gotten with a friend, and we had started going back 1,508 days. And on the upload, I said that if you go back 1,508 days from November 28th, that would take you to October 9th, 2009, and that was the day that the world had become aware that President Barack Obama had won the Nobel Peace Prize. And I was wrong. I made an amendment to it and put it in the description box. That day was actually 1,508 days back from November 28th. It was actually October the 12th, which was Columbus Day. And for 3 weeks I've been trying to figure out what in the world does Columbus Day have to do with Bible prophecy. So for 3 weeks I've been praying to God to open my eyes more, to make it clear to me what this number 23 means and what Columbus Day means. I've been praying for clarity, praying for clarity. And 3 nights ago, I received a dream, a vision, and God showed me what to do. And late last night, I got confirmation through my mom, through a website that she'd found on Facebook. I don't know how to do a link below. You'll have to look it up yourself, but it's called pray4zion.org/thecoming blood moons. Before I get into that website, I want to tell you about the dream, the vision that I had 3 nights ago. In the dream, I started seeing the number 23 over and over and over. And then I heard, go back from the year 2013 in 23-year increments, and you will see that certain things in history have happened every 23 years. Now I know that you can go back every single year in history for the last 2,000 years, and you will find something every year that was pretty significant, but the things that I found were a little bit different. I ran into a lot of leap years, and I ran into a lot of years when popes died and new popes were elected. I ran into a lot of years when kings died and new kings were appointed. first 23 years I went back was 1990. In 1990, believe it or not, I was 23 years old. 1990 was the year of the Gulf War. I went back another 23 years, which was 1967, my birthday. That was the year of the Six-Day War. It was the year that Israel took back Jerusalem. I kept going back 23 years, and I was hoping that I was going to land on the year 1492. I went all the way back to the year 2 AD. But I didn't land on 1492. I landed, the closest I got was 1484, and I thought, I've ran into another roadblock. I don't understand. What are you trying to show me, God? And so what I did was, this morning I Googled what happened in the year 1484. I'm not a big researcher. I know some of you guys and gals out there are, you're gifted with that ability, and you don't leave any stone unturned until you uncover everything there is to see. And if you guys want to go back every 23 years from 2013 and see what I missed, you're more than welcome to. But I seen that in 1484 a pope died. I don't know who he was, but I know a new one was elected, and his name was Giovanni B. Cibo, otherwise known as Pope Innocent VIII. And he was elected, he was elected in 1484, and he was in power from 1484 until July 25th of 1492, the year that Columbus discovered the Americas. Remember that date, July 25th, because the next pope was not elected until August 11 of 1492. That's 17 days that there was no pope in power. Now I want to read to you from the from prayforzion.org, the coming blood moons, and I want to show you where I got my confirmation and what I found. It starts off by saying the Jewish Talmud, Book of Tradition, Interpretation says, when the moon is in eclipse, it is a bad omen for Israel. If its face is as red as blood, it is a sign that the sword is coming to the world. Therefore, lunar eclipse equals bad omen for the Jewish people and Israel. Blood moon equals sword coming. Solar eclipse equals bad omen for the world. Remember, number 23 is death. 4 blood moons on Jewish feast days within 2 years in Israel is very rare and has only occurred 7 times since the time of Jesus. There are now 4 blood moons scheduled to appear in the year 2014 and 2015, and then there will not be any for the next 100 years. Every time a blood moon pattern has appeared on Jewish feast days, a big event affects the nation of Israel. The event affecting Israel begins just before the actual years of blood moons. To understand what will happen in 2014 and 2015 blood moons, you must understand the pattern of blood moons in the past. Now listen to this. NASA found that we have had blood red moons on the first day of Passover and on the first day of Sukkot on back-to-back years 7 times since 1 AD. Remember, I went back all the way to 2 AD. 3 of these occurrences were connected to 1492, the year the Jews were expelled by Spain by Queen Isabella. It's not just the year that Columbus discovered the Americas. Also, 1948, statehood for Israel and the War of Independence. And it occurred in 1967, the Six-Day War, some of the most significant days in Jewish history. According to NASA, 4 blood red total lunar eclipses will fall again on Passover and Sukkot in 2014 and 2015. The same back-to-back occurrences at the time of 1492, 1948, and 1967. 7 back-to-back blood red moons have fallen on the first day of Passover and Sukkot, with the 8th time coming in 2014 and 2015. The meaning of the number 8 in the Bible is new beginnings. The 8th day was new after God rested. There are 7 days in a week, and the 8th day is a new beginning. Christ rose on the 8th day, which was a new beginning for the world. When the whole earth was covered with the flood, it was Noah, the 8th person, who stepped out onto the new earth to commence a new order of things. 8 souls passed through to the new or regenerated world. Hence, too, circumcision was to be performed on the 8th day, because it was a foreshadowing of the true circumcision of the heart, that which was to be made without hands. Even this is connected with the new creation. The firstborn was to be given to Jehovah on the 8th day, and the resurrection of Jesus is ultimately signified when he rose from the dead on the first day of the week. That was of necessity the 8th day. Now I want to read to you a little bit from the diary of Christopher Columbus. In the same month in which their Majesties Ferdinand and Queen Isabella issued the edict that all Jews should be driven out of the kingdom and its territories, in the same month they gave me, Christopher Columbus, the order to undertake with sufficient men my expedition of discovery to the Indies. So begins Christopher Columbus's diary. The expulsion that Columbus refers to was so cataclysmic an event that ever since the date 1492 has been almost as important in Jewish history as in American history. On July 30th of that year, the entire Jewish community, some 200,000 people, were expelled from Spain. Remember, there was no pope in power on July 30th. On July 30th of that year, the entire Jewish community, some 200,000 people, were expelled from Spain. Tens of thousands of refugees died while trying to reach safety. In some instances, Spanish ship captains charged Jewish passengers exorbitant sums, then dumped them overboard in the middle of the ocean. In the last days before the expulsion, rumors spread throughout Spain that the fleeing refugees had swallowed gold and diamonds, and many Jews were knifed to death by thieves hoping to find treasures in their stomachs. 1492 was the same year that the Jews were expelled from Spain, and Christopher Columbus amazingly discovered America, which is home today for more than 5 million Jews outside of Israel. Like Mordecai said to Esther, help will come in another way, and America was blessed by God. More important, we believe that America's purpose was to protect Israel and offer a safe haven for the Jewish people. However, the question is, how long will America still continue this in our day? It's pretty wild, huh? I hope you're right with Jesus. We never know where we are in history, but I think God's trying to tell us something. I think it's time for all of us to get our houses in order. I love you all. God bless.